So hello guys, so today I just wanted to talk about it was a class. Yes, I was taking through the class. I'm done teaching the other people's. Yes, so I just decided rather than doing nothing, just give you something which you wanted. Yes, rather than just sitting here, let me just give you something which you desire, is to know. Okay, I was talking about engine timing, or rather as other people like calling it, the ignition timing. Engine timing, ignition timing is also the same. So I'll start by naming this one. Remember, I was teaching the class. My class is over. I was teaching the class. This is the camshaft sprocket. The camshaft sprocket. That is the camshaft sprocket. Camshaft sprocket. This is a guide, a chain guide. A chain guide. I used to maintaining the pushing. Yes, it's pushed inwards rather than it slugging. It maintains the stiffness of the rotation, because the camshaft will be moving along with the crankshaft. So this one will be the camshaft, crankshaft sprocket, This one will be the lock nut pin, the torquing pin, or not, the torquing nut. Yes, the torquing nut. This one is the timing point, timing mark for the sprocket, timing mark for sprocket, and this one will be the timing mark for the chain, timing for chain, or the timing mark for the chain. This timing mark for the crankshaft sprocket. This one is the tensioner that keeps tension to the chain. Which keeps tension to the chain. Yes, and we'll have a pin here. Yes, the pin. So let's start our lesson. For timing, let us begin. For timing, the first step for timing, always make sure that the harmonic shaft from the crankshaft is pointed upwards. The harmonic shaft from the crankshaft is pointed outwards. This is the harmonic shaft pointed upwards. This is the dowel. The dowel should be always pointing upwards. Have you gotten there? Yeah. This is the harmonic balancer. Yes, the harmonic balancer. The harmonic balancer helps in absorbing the vibrations from the crankshaft. This is the crankshaft. Crankshaft. Yes. This one should be the section of the crankshaft. This is the harmonic balancer or harmonic pulley. The other one will be step 2. Step 2. Make sure that the sprocket from the camshaft timing point is corresponding to the timing mark from the roller timing chain. Likewise, also to the crankshaft sprocket, make sure that the crankshaft sprocket, make sure that its timing points are corresponding to the timing points of the roller timing chain. The timing from the roller timing chain, this one is the roller timing chain. If it's on a V8, it will use a double roller timing chain. Since this is from a Nissan Urvan, it only uses a one chain. But mostly on V8 or maybe the Lexus, they use a double roller timing chain. So this mark should be corresponding to the mark from the chain. The mark from the sprocket and the mark from the chain should be corresponding. You see, the mark from the sprocket corresponds to the mark of the chain. So this is the mark for mark for the sprocket of the camshaft is corresponding to the mark of the chain. The mark of the crankshaft is corresponding to the mark of the let me show you through an example. Yes, here, that's where it will be corresponding. And the third step it will be insert the tensioner while pushing away the chain to my farthest end, or I can use a screwdriver for pushing, and make sure the tensioner has some little bit of play to determine if it's working on properly. So even before I've inserted the tensioner always has a locking pin. You can use either a small needle-like material to block the tensioner. This is the tensioner. It has a locking pin. The locking pin is used for locking it fast. Then you can use even a huge metal to push it inwards so as to fit the tensioner. Yes, I've done this mostly on which engine? On the Isuzu Trooper. Yes, Isuzu Trooper, the V6 type. I've done that. And the fourth step, while inserting the harmonic damper, after it's totally on in, I'll make sure that I've rotated the harmonic using a breaker bar to about 2.5 if it's a Nissan Urvan, but in some other vehicles you can set it to about one only. Yes, some other vehicles you can set it to one only, or maybe I was thinking of something, of an idea. Let's say while timing, make sure it's at 0 degrees. Make sure it's at 0 degrees. So this one will be the 0 degrees. This one means the pistons will be at TDC, top dead center, and an advance. And also some other marks have the 5 here and a 5 here. This 5 means that it's advanced in the top dead center, and this one means that it's ready on the TDC. This one will be the piston will be slightly moving to the TDC, and this one, the piston will be at its exact position, the TDC. So 5 radius, it will be slightly reaching on a TDC 5 radius, as I said here, on a TDC, but it's 5 advance, it will be exactly there. This one will be the 5 advance. So when you use the breaker bar to move it, make sure that the pin from the harmonic balancer is pointing to the 5, so as to make sure that the ignition timing or engine timing is sufficient, because this is where you will tell the engine of how to breathe, of how to remove the exhaust residue. Yes. And have you ever asked yourself the main function of the injector nozzles on a diesel? What is the main function of the injector nozzles? Is to atomize the fuel inside the combustion chamber. For example, a boiler. The boiler has an atomizer. An atomizer sprays in the small molecules of fuel inside the combustion chamber. The combustion chamber of a boiler is called a furnace. The combustion chamber of an engine is called just a combustion chamber. Yes. So the main function of the injector nozzles is to atomize the fuel inside the combustion chamber. Got it? Thank you. And my friend asked me, what is overlapping? Overlapping means that you are intending to open the inlet manifold, and the inlet manifold will open up while the exhaust will close up. And what have you ever asked yourself? The firing order should always begin from number 1 from any engine. Never forget that. Reason as to why the inlet valves are big, because more air. And one thing you should never forget after you have grind, After grinding, the valves take the engine for a steam cleaning to avoid the engine components from grinding with the metallic particles. Of grinding with the metallic particles. Of grinding with the metallic particles. And after you're done with the timing of the engine, there's some other engines, the old school engines such as the Nissan Urvan, the V6, Isuzu Trooper. They use the distributor. So for timing the distributor, first step, do a visual inspection for the coil numbers from 1 to 4. But most important, mark the number 1 coil plug. Yes, mark the number 1 coil plug. Mark the number 1 coil plug on the side of the distributor on which number 1 was facing. And after making the side of number 1 of the distributor, open the head cover of the distributor. After that, use the contactor inside the distributor to align it with the making you made for number 1. After that, pass the gear from beneath the water pump cover is on which the distributor main is to drive the oil pump, and the transfer sparks electric energy from the step-up transformer or generator, which is none other than the coil plug, which consists of secondary and primary windings, which main function is to operate in the electromagnetism. Two grooves consist of attached inside the distributor. Yes, inside the distributor. If I've forgotten anything, kindly remind me. Yes, I've been your own Mwalimu Giltrap Shakur. Yes, kindly follow for more.